Amber Rudd may have quit over the immigration targets scandal, but the finger of blame for the fiasco was last night pointing firmly at Theresa May. The rattled PM faced growing calls to resign for dodging responsibility for the heartless policies that led to the wrongful deportation of Windrush family members. And with her shield, Ms. Rudd gone after she stepped down as Home Secretary for misleading Parliament on targets, Mrs. May was left exposed to attack. But she refused 4 times to say whether she would quit. And the gutless leader chickened out of a showdown with MPs over the immigration issue, shamelessly sending out Ms. Rudd's successor Sajid Javid instead. Even that backfired as he savaged the hostile environment started when she was Home Secretary. Windrush children were among those calling for Mrs. May to go. Donald Thompson, who has been threatened with deportation despite being here legally since 1967, said, "The buck stops with Theresa May. Honestly, I think she perpetrated the whole thing. I think she should resign." May sent new Home Secretary Sajid Javid to face MPs' questions instead of facing questions herself. Image, AFP. The 64-year-old dental assistant of Tottenham, North London, arrived in the UK from Jamaica aged 13. But since the Home Office destroyed landing cards of the Windrush generation, he has been unable to prove he is legal. Joe Robinson, 58, arrived in Britain at the age of 6 but was left stranded in Jamaica for almost 2 after returning there for his 50th birthday in 2009. He said, "This woman, Rudd, you can blame her but it's not her fault, it's Theresa May. Because she was Home Secretary then when these things were going on. I blame Theresa May for it. She's the one who should resign." A Sky News poll tonight showed 31% blame Mrs. May for the scandal but just 4% felt it was Ms. Rudd's fault. Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbott said, "All roads lead to the PM who was the architect of this crisis." Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said Mrs. May has questions to answer about what she did as Home Secretary. He added, "She was presiding over, in her terms, the creation of a hostile environment." A Sky News poll showed the public blames Theresa May more than former Home Secretary Amber Rudd for the Windrush scandal. Image, PA. David Lammy's response to Amber Rudd's resignation was absolutely perfect. Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell said the Tories were in terminal disarray and added, "You can smell the odour of a government decomposing." Mr. Javid used his debut appearance as Home Secretary to take a swipe at Mrs. May. Asked about the hostile environment, he replied, "It is a phrase that is unhelpful." On the Windrush scandal, he added, "I will do whatever it takes to put it right." Ms. Rudd, who repeatedly denied knowing about immigration targets, until a letter to the PM outlining them was published at the weekend, is the 4th to quit Mrs. May's cabinet in 108 days. Michael Fallon, Priti Patel and Damian Green also left under clouds. James Brockenshire replaces Mr. Javid as Housing Secretary. International Development Secretary Penny Mordaunt takes over Ms. Rudd's responsibilities as Minister for Women and Equalities. In a further blow to the PM, she yesterday faced her 7th Brexit defeat in the Lords as peers sought to guarantee Parliament could have a final say on any EU leaving deal struck with Brussels.